Thank you, Hiralalji. It's a pleasure to be here. I thank Rotary Club Mumbai West and also Mr. Ramesh Prabhu and MSWA for having me here. Without losing much time, I think I'll start with my presentation. Can I share my screen? Okay. My screen is visible?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Great. Welcome everybody once again. So what we are going to try and do here is just gain some knowledge on fire safety. The topic today is Jalo Mat, be cool. Okay. So that is what we need to be. There's a lot of fires going on, so we need to prevent those. Okay, so I'll just give you in brief the objective and the results that you can expect today. My objective today is to create awareness regarding fire safety in all the attendees. Okay, that is what I am here for. And what results you can expect from this is the presentation will get over in 45 minutes. So you can give a sigh of relief there. It should improve your understanding of fire systems and their working, and also give you an appreciation of the importance of fire safety at the places where we stay or where we work. Okay, so we'll be able to take better care of the fire safety assets that we may have. And also at the end, I'll be giving some practical do's and don'ts tips that we should be able to apply in our day-to-day life. Okay, good. I can proceed. Once in a while, a thumbs up will help me get some feedback. Okay, thank you. Okay, so when we talk of fire safety, I think the first question that comes to mind is what is a fire? Means first we'll have to define fire. So a fire is defined as a process of combining air and fuel in the presence of heat, which produces even further heat, light and smoke. Okay, so it's a process of combustion, right? So that is what is fire. So now from this definition, we know that to have a fire, we basically need three elements. One is the fuel, the second is the oxygen, and the third is some source of heat to ignite the fire. Okay, so when these three things come together, you have fire, right? So from these three things, you get what is known as the fire triangle. Okay, so this triangle, the three sides of the triangle are oxygen, heat, and fuel. Okay, unless all these three things come together, you can't have a fire. Normally, you may have fuel, you may have a wooden table or something, you have oxygen in the air, but there's no fire because the heat is missing. Okay, so similarly, all three things have to combine. So now, once we know what is required to start a fire, we can also know what we can do to extinguish a fire. So the principles of extinguishing a fire also come from the fire triangle. So if you take away any one of the elements of the fire triangle, you will not have a fire. So there are different ways of extinguishing fire. Okay, so here we go. The first way of extinguishing a fire is when you take away the oxygen. If you take away the oxygen, that process is known as smothering. You are smothering a fire. Okay, so now what is the way in which we day-to-day activities that we do is like when we put a blanket over a kitchen pan fire, okay, or you put a lid on a kitchen pan. What you are basically doing is there is fuel still there inside, there is oil inside, there is heat still there, but by putting a lid or putting a blanket on it, you are taking away the oxygen. So the fire dies down. So that is known as smothering. The second way of extinguishing a fire is by cooling. Okay, so what is the most common way of cooling? I think we all of us know it's by pouring water. When you pour water on a fire, what you have is you still have the oxygen and fuel, but you are taking away the heat. So the fire dies down. Okay, and thirdly, starvation. Starvation is when you take away the fuel. Okay, the most common way of starving this is when you switch off the gas on the when the pan is on fire. So you are taking away the fuel and the fire will die down. Okay, I am getting through. More, is it all clear? A thumbs up may help me once in a while. Okay, so fine. Can I move ahead?
Yeah,
Sure.
go ahead.
Okay. Now we know what is fire, what are the ways of extinguishing a fire. So now we'll come to what are the different fire systems that we come across. Okay, generally in most buildings. So the most common are the fire extinguishers. I am sure all of you must have seen these fire extinguishers in your buildings or office buildings, residential buildings, factories, wherever. Okay, so these are known as the first aid fire fighting equipment, because these are used for incipient fires. I mean, very small fires can be extinguished with this. When a fire becomes big, then these are no longer useful. You will need other systems that are there. So in this, you have got basically 4 types of fire extinguishers: water, powder, foam, and carbon dioxide. Okay, but out of these, the water and foam are not generally used these days because they are very bulky and difficult to carry, and they are not as effective as a powder fire extinguisher or a carbon dioxide one. So I will concentrate on powder and carbon dioxide. Now, the powder fire extinguisher is also known as an ABC type. You will see mostly ABC written on the fire extinguisher. So those are the powder type and the CO2 type. Now, powder type can be used for all types of fires which are originating from a solid fuel like paper, wood, plastic, or similar items, solid items, and liquid like oil, gasoline, kerosene, whatever. And gaseous is LPG, CNG. So these can be used on that. And CO2 fire extinguishers are most effective on electrical fire. So where you have panel rooms, electrical meter rooms, there you should use CO2 because that's the most effective against electrical fires. So these 2 types of fire extinguishers generally you will find everywhere. After the fire extinguishers, you have something called as a riser system. This you must have seen in most high rises these days, that you have a pipe running across the height of the building, and on each floor you have these hose reel drums and landing valves and hose boxes. So these pipes are connected to an underground pumps and water tank, and they are pumping water constantly in that pipe. So the moment you open that valve, you will have a big gush of water coming out. So these are constantly pressurized. So these help in fighting a fire, which is a little larger than what can be done with a fire extinguisher, right? This is the second type. The third type is the ring hydrant system, which is along the compound wall of most of the buildings. Here, again, the same system. You've got an underground water tank and pumps which are pumping water in the ring system. And so with this, you can fight the fire externally from outside the building. The fire brigade can also use the water from this and fight a fire from outside the building. Then you have something called as a sprinkler system. The sprinklers are what you can see here. I've shown is a small device with a red bulb. Generally, you can see. And behind that, there is an entire piping network again going down to the pump in the on the ground floor or in the basement. So here again, water is pressurized and kept in the entire line. And the moment the temperature, the glass bulb senses a temperature above 67 or 68 degrees centigrade. So you have a local fire in a room or in a passage. It will burst the glass bulb, the red bulb that you can see here. You can see this, the red bulb here on the sprinkler. Yeah, so that will burst, and the water behind that will come gushing out in a big shower and extinguish the fire. So these sprinkler systems are localized extinguishing systems. Okay, it's not that एक कहीं पे कोई फर्स्ट फ्लोर पे आग लगा तो पूरा बिल्डिंग में सब स्प्रिंकलर से पानी आना चालू हो जाएगा. ऐसा नहीं होगा. जहाँ पे जो स्प्रिंकलर का टेम्परेचर 67 डिग्रीज के ऊपर सेंस होता है या जाता है, वही स्प्रिंकलर बर्स्ट होगा और वहीं पे आपको पानी आएगा. So that misconception, I think people are very reluctant to install sprinkler system because they say अरे और कहीं पे आग लगेगा और हमारा पूरा घर में पानी हो जाएगा या हमारा फैक्ट्री में पानी हो जाएगा या बिल्डिंग में पानी हो जाएगा. तो ऐसा नहीं है. So we need not have that apprehension. Okay, right. Then these are the fire fighting systems. Then there are something known as detection systems. So these are electronic and electrical based systems wherein you have a panel and a manual call point, that is MCP what we call them, and smoke detectors and a sounder or a hooter. So here what happens is the smoke detector mounted on the ceilings detects a smoke of a fire and it gives you an alarm through the sounder. Okay, the signal goes to the panel, then the panel gives the location also of exactly where the smoke has been detected. So you may have a 20-story building and you may not know where the fire is. So you don't want to lose time in finding where the fire is. So this way the panel will give you the exact location where the fire is. And the MCPs or the manual call points are used if a person detects a fire and it is not detected by a smoke detector. In that case, you just have to pull down the MCP or break the glass, whichever type of MCP you have, and it will give an alarm to the entire building or entire factory saying that there is a fire at this location. So you don't need to shout and make people aware. This is being done. Right? I think we are clear till here. Okay. Then these five are active, are known as active systems. Okay. Then some systems we have which are known as passive protection systems. Right? Passive protection systems they are built into the construction and they help you evacuate. They don't fight the fire, but they help you evacuate or give you more time. So one of the very important passive protection components are the fire doors. So on the staircase entries, you generally have these fire doors, or in hospitals for compartmentation, you will have these fire doors. So these are very important. They restrict the spread of fire. Right? Similarly, compartmentation, vertical compartmentation also you have where you seal all the vertical ducts, the plumbing ducts, the cable ducts. You seal it with an intumescent cement or a fire retardant material to ensure that a fire on a given floor remains contained on that floor and the smoke and the heat doesn't rise up and risk the lives and property of other residents. So that is also important. And I think there is some disturbance. Yeah.
Thank you.
Please mute yourself if there is a noise at your place. Please mute yourself. If noise is emanating from your place.
Mute all, then you unmute yourself, sir. You can unmute yourself and.
Mr. Jujeb, please
Yeah.
unmute.
Okay, I got it. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, thank you. So then we come to the next passive protection system, which is the signages. These are very important. Signages, they don't cost much, but you remember the Kamla Mills fire, there 14 people died because they thought the toilet door is the exit door and they all went into the toilet and they suffocated there. Okay, so signages are very important. They don't cost much, like I said. So all your exits have to be very prominently marked. Your fire extinguishers need to be properly marked because in case of a fire, there's a lot of smoke, a lot of commotion, very low light. So locating these things becomes a challenge. Okay, so you don't want people to get lost there. So these signages are very critical components of fire safety. Then you have staircases. Staircases are your lifeline, really speaking. Okay, in case of a fire or any emergency, you have to use staircases. You can't be using lifts. Lifts are very dangerous because the lift shaft becomes, there's a lot of draft in that because of the vertical open nature. So you will have smoke entering it big time. Okay, and once the smoke enters the lift shaft, the lift cabin itself is so small that it can get completely filled with smoke, and people inside can suffocate, and it may stall also. So it becomes a death well. So never use the lift. You have to use the staircase only, and that is why it is imperative that we keep the staircase clean of all clutter. I have seen, you must also have seen at places, people put all the construction debris and all leftover furniture and pots and plants and cycles and benches and what have you. They think वो staircase से तो कभी जाना नहीं है, अपने को तो lift ही use करना है, तो डालो सब कचरा उधर, which is a very dangerous notion, because when you have a fire, the visibility is low, people are rushing out, and all these obstructions can lead to tripping and people dying because of that tripping and stampede, rather than the fire and smoke, right? And there in fire system, we say the staircase को तो माँ के जैसा रखना चाहिए. You should keep it clean. You should take care of the staircase like your mother. Okay, but what happens is most people take care of it like their mother-in-law. Okay, so that is the difference. So we need to ensure that we take proper care of this. Then the next important part are the refuge areas. So we know what all refuge areas are. So they help you get time before rescue. If you can't go to the ground, you have to go to the refuge area. So refuge areas also should be kept clean, clutter-free, and we should ensure that there is some amount of drinking water and water connection tap there, and a first aid box. So in case somebody needs some first aid when they are there, it can be administered, right? So these are the 6 types of fire systems that you will generally come across, right? I'll move ahead. Now we know what types of fire systems are. Now I think what we need to also know that as citizens, as owners, as residents of the city, what are our legal obligations, and what are the legal acts saying? The Fire Act, what does it say? So I've just pulled out a few clauses from the Fire Act. So Maharashtra is governed by the Maharashtra Fire Prevention Act 2007. Okay, and out of that I have taken chapter 2, clause 3.1 and clause 3.3. Now these give the basically it defines the responsibility, the responsible persons. How do you take care of that responsibility, and what are the penalties? So I'll just read through. So what clause 3.1 says is the owner or the occupier shall maintain the fire prevention and life safety measures in good repair and efficient condition at all times. So basically what this says that it is the owner's responsibility, but in case the owner is not available or not traceable, then it becomes the occupier's responsibility. Okay, so we may be occupying, we may not be the owners, we could be tenants, or we may not be the builders or developers, we may be a housing society. But once we are occupiers, we also will become liable to ensure that the systems are provided and maintained in good repair.
Then Maharashtra Fire Prevention Act.
Yeah. Then so this responsibility is now very clearly defined. Now to take care of that responsibility, how do you ensure that you fulfill that responsibility? So you have to give a certificate in the prescribed form issued by a licensed agency every 6 months to the fire department. So the fire department has appointed about 500 licensed agencies across Maharashtra. So those licensed agencies are authorized to check the fire system and issue a form that is known as a Form B. And every 6 months, the owners or occupiers are supposed to get these certificates and submit to the nearest fire station. Okay, so this way you can fulfill your responsibility as owner or occupier, right? Now, in case that responsibility is not fulfilled and there is a mishap, so what are the provisions for penalties? So that is given in this clause, subclause 3 here, which says that there is a provision, failure to comply with any of the requirements, there is a rigorous imprisonment for a term of not less than 6 months and which can extend up to 3 years. And there is a financial penalty also up to 50,000 rupees. So this is the provision. Okay, I am sure we all will not need to go through if we fulfill all the requirements of the Act, right? So this is what is our responsibility as citizens of this city. Now, let's take a few case studies of buildings where there have been fires in the recent past. Okay. Crystal Tower, Parel, I think this is 2016. There was a fire. 4 people died and I think 10, 11 of them were injured. The cause here was the cables in the cable duct had got overheated. They started burning, and then the smoke rose throughout the building because there was no ceiling provided. So it rose to all the floors. Okay, and a lot of people got asphyxiated. Okay, the investigation report found that there was negligence by the society as the firefighting system was non-functional. None of the 5-6 systems that we talked of were existing. Okay, the good part was here a 10-year-old girl named Zen Sadavarte rescued her entire family by using very simple fire safety tips which she had learned in class 3. Okay, of putting a wet towel to your face and closing all the doors and windows with a wet towel so that the smoke doesn't come in. So she could save this entire thing. So what I'm trying to get to is fire safety is child's play actually, if we know what needs to be done, right? And here, because those things are not done, the action which was taken by the authorities was that the developer was sent to police custody directly. Okay. The second case study is of Sargam Society at Ghatkopar, Tilaknagar. Here again, 5 people had died. Here the cause again was short circuit in one of the flats, decorative lighting. This was I think around Christmas time when Christmas tree का कुछ decoration का वो तोरण वोरण लगाया था and वो दो wire डाल के वो plug on कर दिया था. So those wires were very thin. Yeah, there was sparking. And you look at the condition of the flat after the fire, completely burned down. Not only that, but adjacent flats were also pretty badly damaged. Okay, so very important. Electrical safety is very important. I think I'll cover that as we go forward. Here again, it was found that the society was negligent and there were fire fighting systems were not operational. And the learning here was the terrace door. Okay, the residents were able to break down the terrace door because everybody rushed to the terrace once the smoke started filling in, because there was nowhere else they could go. नीचे का पूरा 10 माले पे ये हुआ था तो उससे पूरा smoke ऊपर rise हो रहा था through the staircase because there were no fire doors. So everybody was rushing to the terrace and the terrace door was locked. Okay, now one of the guys was able to break down the terrace door and everybody could escape. अगर वो नहीं होता था तो this death toll would have been much higher. Okay, so very important that the terrace doors and all those are not locked. We'll come to that subsequently. Again here, charges of culpable homicide were filed against the developer. Okay, very serious charges. And the third case study is Lake Florence, Powai. Okay, this again is almost a similar short circuit in an internal flat wiring. Okay, again 13th floor, not a lower floor. So almost similar to the earlier 2 cases, but here the good part was there were no casualties. And why? Why were there no casualties? Because the fire systems were functional and the fire department could come in immediately and douse the fire. Only there was damage only in the flat where the fire was. None of the other flats were or the common areas were affected. So that is one good thing. And second is the mock drill had been conducted just a fortnight ago. They had those systems in place. So everybody, all the residents knew what is to be done in case of a fire. So everybody evacuated safely and nobody was, there were no casualties and there were some few injuries, but I think it were minor and they were out the next day. from the hospital. So there is a really a case here that we have to ensure that we take care of the fire assets, fire systems, maintain them, audit them regularly, to ensure that we are safe. Our families are most important. We are all working so hard, everything for our families, and this is where it will have the maximum impact. Right? Can I move ahead? Fine till here?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So now we come to the do's that we were talking of. So the first thing that we need to do is learn how to use a fire extinguisher. Okay, like I told you, that's your first aid to a fire. So whenever a fire is less than 1 square foot area, 1 feet by 1 feet, छोटा सा fire है तो आपको fire extinguisher से use करना है. उससे बड़ा हो गया तो आप छोड़ो, you just have to evacuate. Okay, so I've got a small video. I'll play that will tell you how to use a fire extinguisher. Okay.
Using them is really easy. They have to be operated on the principle of PASS. P-A-S-S. P stands for pull, that is, pull the pin given on the extinguisher to unlock it. A stands for aim, that is, aim the nozzle to the base of the fire. S stands for squeeze, that is, squeeze the handle till it sprays the extinguishing media onto the fire. And S stands for sweep, that is, keep sweeping the nozzle from one end of the fire to the other till it douses it entirely. तो याद रखें, extinguisher यूज करने की टेस्ट में आपको पास होना बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है. ये इजी टिप आपको और आपकी फैमिली को सेफ रख सकता है.
Okay, so I think very simple. PASS is what you need to do. Pull the pin, aim at the base of the fire, squeeze the handle and sweep, right? So anybody can do it. I think you can try it once you are back home or wherever. Okay, right. Then the next part of do, I think we already discussed, is maintain all fire equipments regularly, at least once in a quarter, and conduct fire audits every 6 months. In addition to that, now there is a talk of having an electrical audit also being mandatory once in 2 years. I think the housing department is working on it to make that also mandatory in all the buildings. So this is very important. As a housing society, we all need to take this up. Then conduct mock drills regularly. We have seen the the advantage of having a mock drill. This helps the systems be properly maintained, and also all the residents get confidence of knowing what needs to be done. So that reduces the panic to a very large extent. When people panic, they do a lot of irrational things. When they know what needs to be done, they know stepwise what is required to be done, things become smooth and the evacuation is very fast. So mock drills are something that needs to be done at least once in a year, if not twice in a year. Then we need to also tell our kids, everybody, how to evacuate from our flats, because these days we have got large flats, duplexes होते हैं, triplexes होते हैं. तो भाई एकदम इनसाइड का फ्लैट है, बेडरूम है, वहां से बाहर तक कैसे निकले? आइडियली इन फायर सेफ्टी वी से एवरी रूम शुड हैव 2 exits, but in Mumbai that's not possible. So we need to have an exit plan ready. And in case of fire, what happens is the smoke is lighter than air, so it tends to rise, so it will stick to the ceiling, and you will have clean air in the bottom 3 or 4 feet area. So crawling helps you avoid the smoke, and you can breathe fresh air, and you can go further to your exits. So you should crawl if there is smoke in a room, right? So we need to inculcate that. And then kitchen safety is also very important. We have LPGs, most of us in our houses, kitchens, we have multiple cylinders. So storing the cylinder is very important. It has always got to be kept vertical, not horizontal, because when you keep it horizontal, the LPG goes into the nozzle and it could lead to leakages and very dangerous situation. So, and the place where we keep it also should be kept clean. There should be no food stuff or other things, because you will have cockroaches and rats coming there, and your rubber components could get chewed off. and also there should not be any electrical points near the cylinder, so we avoid the sparks and other things there. Also, one more thing we need to do is switch off the main turner of the valve in the everyday night, if possible, or at least when we are leaving the flat on a holiday or something. So this also is very critical. Then if there is a fire, you need to call the fire brigade immediately. Okay, 101 is the fire brigade number. I think we should all remember this, and we should not assume that कोई और call कर देगा. अपन call करो और उनको बताओ. So that will help them come. The operator may ask you a few questions about the location and everything. That will help them reach faster. So give those details in complete details so that they can arrive quickly. And then you need to evacuate. A very important I think I touched on this earlier, is in case of a fire, never take the lifts, always take the stairs, go down through the stairs. Okay, like I discussed, the lift shaft becomes a death well. Okay, so don't take that, go down, or even if you have to go up through the staircase only. Okay, if you have to go to the terrace, if the fire is below, on the below floor, you go up through the terrace, don't take the lift. Then in case you are stuck in a room and you have got fire outside the room, so close the door, shut the door tightly, and put wet towels along all the edges to ensure that the smoke and heat don't enter the room. That will give you more time for the fire department to come and rescue you from that room or extinguish the fire outside, whichever way. Time is of paramount importance in case of fire. Okay, so generally it may take anywhere from 30 minutes to a couple of hours for a big building to be totally evacuated. So this is very important to give you that time. Other recommendations that I would make for housing societies, because I'm sure we are all living in housing societies, is doors of terraces and refuge areas should be kept shut but not locked. Okay, if they are locked, then you should have a glass box with the key there besides that. So anybody in an emergency can break the glass, take the key and use the refuge areas or the terrace. Terrace also is deemed to be a refuge area as per the Fire Act. Okay, so we generally have करे ऊपर जाके लोग nuisance create करते हैं और उसके लिए lock रखना है and all that. But we have to find ways of ensuring the safety also. Then grills of windows have to have openable portions. I know of some builders who grill the whole window and they say, "Oh, बाद में लोग कुछ उल्टा सीधा करते हैं." So which is very bad. It is against the law. The windows should have openable grills. If there are grills, ideally there should be no grills. But if there are grills, it should be openable, because a window is your second exit. Like I mentioned, every room, as per fire safety, should have 2 exits. Okay, so this at least gives you another way of exiting. There was a fire in Marol Memoon Apartments. It's a 4-story building. There was a fire on, I think, 2nd or 3rd story. Okay, and the fire was in the outermost room, so the family couldn't exit from the main door. But they had all the windows there, and they were only on the 2nd or 3rd floor. So I think they could have jumped out. At the most, there would have been a fracture, if at all anything. But they could not, because it was all grilled. And for more than 45 minutes or an hour, they're shouting for help, but nobody could do anything. And the entire family perished. So very, very critical that we understand the importance of this. Then main doors of buildings should not be locked at the night. This again is an issue. We have seen, there have been a couple of instances where the नीचे का वो door जो रहता है collapsible, उसको lock करके ताला मार के वो watchman भी चले जाता है कहीं पे, and nobody has got access to the keys. So if you have a fire, all the residents will be stuck. They can't go out of the building. So this again is very critical, and all entry lanes should not be blocked with parked vehicles, because your fire truck is a big vehicle. So it needs space to come in. If they are not able to reach, they may not be able to save you. And one very important thing that as a housing society committee mein agar hai, to what we can do is, tell the members to install LPG or CNG leak detectors, because that gives you that early warning. Okay, and it prevents things from becoming worse. Right? Okay, I'll quickly go through the don'ts. I think I'm already at 35 odd minutes. The fire doors we mentioned are very critical passive protection systems, but they are that when they are closed, because they give you a partition between the safe and unsafe areas. Now, if you keep them open, everything becomes unsafe. And people use all sorts of ways. They put a wedge, they tie a cloth, or put an extinguisher itself there to keep it open. So this is very foolish. We should not do that. The fire doors, the staircase doors are supposed to be kept closed. Okay, so let's ensure that we do this. Then I mentioned about cluttering the staircase, lobbies, and refuge areas. I am giving you some examples. You look at this, the cycle in front of the staircase door. Now, these are posh buildings. These are not, lower class buildings. And here, if we do this, sorry. Sorry. So here, if we do this, if there's a fire, you can have a stampede and a lot of injuries. Same thing with the refuge area. If you see, there's so much of clutter there. Then if you hear the fire alarm, I think you should immediately evacuate, not try to take all your belongings, jewelry, wallets, laptop. वो सब मिल जाएगा अगर जान बचेगी तो. जान नहीं बचेगी तो इसका क्या करेंगे, right? So because every second is precious. In a small fire can become an inferno in less than 2 to 3 minutes is what is the timeline. So you have very little time. So make most use of that. Then electricals, I think we discussed that don't overload the electrical socket. एक ही socket में 4-5 appliances लगा दिए. आजकल तो क्या हो रहा है? Because we are all working from home, so the gadgets are increasing. Everybody has got a laptop. We get bigger TVs, we got bigger fridges and ovens and what have you. ACs have got added. So but the wiring which is coming is the same thing which is 20-year-old, 30-year-old. So whether it can take the load or not is a question mark. So get the audit done and don't overload the wiring system. It can be hazardous. We have seen in the case studies. 90% of the fires in Mumbai are because of electrical short circuit. Let's remember this. So electrical safety is very critical. Electric meter rooms in most societies I have seen, they use it as a store. उधर जगह है ना, डालो कुछ भी उधर. या worse than that, you have जो watchman है या उनको उधर रहने को दे देते हैं कि तुम रहो उधर. अरे भाई उसका तो तुम डेथ वारंट लिख रहे हो. वहां पे अगर इलेक्ट्रिक मीटर रूम में कुछ हुआ तो बंदा मर जाएगा. So let's be a little more sensitive towards that. And in Diwali, we should ensure that we don't put any combustibles, ऐसा कपड़े या वो सब उधर balcony में नहीं रखे या balcony के बाहर सुखाए नहीं, because you have rockets and all those flying around. They can catch fire to the clothes and our house will catch fire. So during Diwali, this is one tip that we all be very critical of. And then we should never re-enter a fire-affected building till the fire brigade tells us that it is safe. Okay, because it may cost us our life. We don't know what has got affected, where the fire is, which columns have become weakened, or which slabs can fall. So we don't want to get into that. Never re-enter a building till the fire brigade declares it safe. Then the firefighting tanks. These are another very misused asset. So वो फायर फाइटिंग टैंक का जो पानी है वो गार्डनिंग में यूज करो, डोमेस्टिक में यूज करो, कुछ गाड़ी धोने के लिए यूज करो. और जब आग लगेगी तब चला उसमें पानी नहीं मिलेगा आपको. तो let's be more sensitive and ensure that the fire tanks are always kept full and they are not misused. Then these days in big posh buildings, you also have decorating the passages and the staircases with combustible material like wood and asbestos and what have you. So that again you are adding to the risk, because the common areas are your passage to safety. So keep them as non-combustible as possible. And any alteration or additions to your windows, ventilation systems, at least you should consult your fire brigade and get it done. Okay, so these are the do's and don'ts. Just 2 more slides and I think I'm ending. I'm almost at 40 minutes plus. If your clothes catch fire, there is a simple thing that you need to do is stop, drop, and roll. See, if you try to run towards a water tap or kitchen or whatever, what you are doing is while running, you are giving it more oxygen because of the movement. And the longer you keep standing, you are giving it more fuel. Now, because we know the principle of extinguishing, so you are giving it more fuel, the fire will rise in your body because it will get more cloth and flesh to burn. So the best thing is stop in your tracks, drop down. So when you stop, you are reducing the oxygen. When you drop down, you are reducing the fuel. And when you start rolling, you are cutting out the oxygen itself, and the fire will be extinguished in no time. So don't panic. This, I think we all should know, and we should teach to our kids also. Very important tip. Okay, then finally, MSWA comes out with very important fire safety circulars. I think you can, there are already quite a few circulars out. You can refer to them. So that gives you tips and the clauses of the law which need to be followed. So in case any of your society members have any doubts on what is to be done in case of any of the issues, you can refer to them and it will help you. These are also available on our WhatsApp number 86574428816. So you can connect with that, and they will be available there itself. So all of you can use this. I will share this number separately if required on the chat box. Right? Thank you. I think I am within 45 minutes, hopefully. And I hope I have been able to create a spark of interest and awareness about fire safety, and we'll all give some importance here in forward to the fire assets and improve the safety of our city and country as a whole. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So now I would like to invite CA Ramesh Prabhu, Chairman of MSWA, to talk about this Lemon Housing series. And meanwhile, if all the attendees, if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat box, which can be handled after this talk.
Yeah.
So, Ramesh Prabhu ji.
Yeah, thank you, Dharmendra ji. And of course, Zuzar Madharwal has very well explained about the fire safety audit. Let me tell you, he is our Vice President of Mahaseva for fire and safety measures. So he is the one who is bringing out at least once in a month, at least 2 or 3 circulars related to fire safety. So I think those who want to take those circulars definitely can visit our website. So thank you very much for the Rotary Club Bombay West, which has been organizing meticulously and continuously in spite of the lockdown on first Sunday of every month. And this has been gaining momentum, and at least when we are uploading on the Facebook and YouTube, people are also taking these videos and circulating it to the various people. So today, whatever Zuzar Madharwala has said, I think is an eye-opener. The type of fire and other things taking place in number of hospitals and of course high-rise buildings, and people are getting panic. I can just share with you, our office is only 2-story building, and we were also caught in the fire because of the short circuit. And though our office is on the 2nd floor, that was a top floor rather, and on the 1st floor there is again terrace. On the top of us also there is a terrace. But believe me, all the staircase, this one, all the windows, we had a closed grill, and about 10 to 12 people, including me, I was caught. And of course, we could not come out of our staircase. We could not go neither on the 1st floor, which is a terrace area, refuge area, nor we could go on the top of our terrace. We could not come out of our office because the entire staircase, which has lot of cables, it got fire.
Absolutely.
And we could not open the door, and we thought we are gone. And fire brigade people came. Luckily nearby it was there, they came. But in spite of coming, they said, we cannot do anything. You be there in the building only, unless until we do something. So you cannot come out, don't open the door, be inside, and we'll see what is to be done. So we were all,
Stuck.
why I'm saying we were all stuck. And for 5 minutes or 15 minutes, I would say, till the fire was removed, we were all shocked. And believe me, within 2 days, once everything was over, we went on the terrace. And from there, of course, we could save ourselves. Nobody, no life was lost. Of course, the society had to spend about lakhs of rupees or maybe 2 lakhs in replacing entire cable. Now coming to the point, regarding the fire once again, immediately thereafter, on the next day itself, I got all the windows removed and I made a collapsible grill. So I said that is the only way I could save, though there was a lot of cost involved to me, because about 7-8 windows, I immediately got it, openable. So thereafter I said, no, it is so serious. We don't realize unless until we get into that arena. So anyhow, I request everybody to take precaution and put your questions. It's a very good informative session, Jujhar Madarwala. Now the topic given to me is a very simple topic, and which is of course close to my heart, housing societies issues. Today I will deal only with, I have been given 15 to 20 minutes. So what I will do is I will only deal with the 3 important aspects. The first and foremost issue, which is the hot topic of the day, is that Cooperative Housing Society, which is registered under the Maharashtra Cooperative Society Act, along with other cooperative enterprises, the government is planning to remove from the Cooperative Housing Society and have another set of regulations, so that the burden on the cooperative department, because of handling the day-to-day affairs, will be difficult, or it will be removed. I will come back once again. In Maharashtra, we have more than 1,25,000 housing societies which are registered under the Maharashtra Cooperative Societies Act. When we look at Maharashtra Cooperative Housing Societies Act, or rather Cooperative Societies Act, there are nearly 50 odd type of cooperative societies. To begin with, cooperative credit societies, cooperative bank, sugar mills, dairy, fisheries, marketing, agricultural, district banks, cooperative banks. So you name weaving mills. So you name the activity that is being done, the business activity which is being done under the cooperatives. Housing society is the only one where we don't find, business activities being done. The purpose is to serve its own members, to take care of their, housing complex. In the process, out of 250,000 cooperative societies, if more than 50%, that is nearly 125,000 are housing societies, the lot of, time of the registrars are getting wasted in handling the, silly disputes between the members of the society and the managing committee. It could be, repairing expenses, leakage, or maybe small things. So therefore, government somewhere in February decided that why not we work out with the alternative mechanism which is being adopted by other states. When I say other states, like Tamil Nadu, Andhra, maybe Kerala, Delhi, Punjab, Haryana, and when you look at other states where there are Karnataka, multi-story buildings are there. Whether you take Chennai, which is Madras, or you take Bangalore, Delhi, Hyderabad, all these places also there are multi-story buildings and equal number of complexes. There is no cooperative societies, cooperative society. They are managing well. There is a good, well-known system. So therefore, government on 10th of March 2021, that is a 2 months back, they have come out with a guideline, and they have come out with the, what is known as, they have come out with the actual speaking, the what is known as a committee has been constituted on 10th of March 2021 under the chairmanship of Mr. Bajirao Shinde, who is the joint registrar for Mumbai, under his leadership, another 8 people have been added, and a committee has been constituted which involves of course, district deputy registrar, and assistant registrars to study the management of the housing complexes in other states and whether that can be adopted in Maharashtra, so that the time that is spent by the cooperative department in resolving the disputes of housing societies are reduced, and if required, that may be removed from the cooperative act, and maybe a separate legislation may be made. So this is all about the removal of cooperative housing societies from the cooperative department. The study group has been constituted. The various federations, the associations like us, we are definitely taking a strong view that if you have any challenges, yes, we will be able to solve it, but removing entirely from the cooperative department would be an injustice for a sector which has been dominating in Maharashtra, and which has received a laid down system for the last 100 and above years. And removing it from the cooperative department or the cooperative act will be definitely unfair. That is what has been voiced by every federation, district federation, state federation, and even our association. So we have to now wait and watch. The committee may give the report, and thereafter we will have to represent and see that this type of things does not happen. The second most important is regarding the general body. Yes, the initial circular was issued on 25th of February 2021 that general body of the society can be held online for a society which is having more than 50 members. Considering the the increasing in the COVID cases, immediately on 8th of March 2021, government came out with the guideline that it is not only for housing society and a cooperative bank, all the societies can go ahead and do the online general body meeting. Thereafter, on 23rd of March 2021, government came with the amendment to the circular dated 8th March 2021, saying that all the societies, when I talk about all the societies, including housing society and the housing society less than 50 members, are also now allowed to take the AGM online. And this online facility has been given for the AGM up to 31st December 2021. That means now the AGM can be conducted online. Absolutely, there is no problem. So, of course, the question arises, in order to do the AGM, what are the precautions to be taken? The precautions are very simple, that all the, if it is a special general body meeting, of course, you have to give 5 days notice. If it is a AGM, you have to give 14 days notice. The agenda item has to be worked out. The email and by WhatsApp or with the whatever communication available, you have to send the online link. That is the meeting what we are going to do. And this is all done, as we are aware, to restrict the spread of the COVID-19. This has become very important. Now, even the managing committee on 25th February 2020, 25th June 2020, in the first phase of the the corona first wave, there itself, 25th of June 2020, the government came out with the GR saying that online managing committee meeting can be done, a digital managing committee meeting can be done. You will be surprised to know that a lot of societies, managing committees are doing their managing committee meetings on WhatsApp. Now, when I say WhatsApp, how that WhatsApp is possible? Yes, you have a conference call on the WhatsApp, 5 to 7 people can be added, and that is how the online meetings are done on the WhatsApp call also, There are some people who are doing, somebody is saying that, okay, 10 to 11, we will have a WhatsApp meeting. And then people start sending messages on the WhatsApp. Chairman says the meeting is started, and then people take up the agenda. 5 days notice are given in advance, and people have, because that 25th June 2020 circular sayings the managing committee can have the digital mode meetings. Digital mode does not mean that only it should be video conferencing. It can be even a conference call. So that is how people were having a conference call and having the meeting, recording the minutes. No, that circular is still standing today. It has no time frame which is given. It can be still continuing. So the managing committee meetings are now done on video conference, video calling, or by WhatsApp calls, or by conference telephone call. Things are happening, and this has started from 25th June 2020. So the online has now become a part of the game. Now the question arises, if that is the case, whether the Mahaseva is giving any type of facility guidance. Yes, we do give the guidance, we do give the facilities. We have some empaneled vendors from whom you can take the details, so that the societies are in a position to have. So we also give them a technical help if they want to have use the 45 minutes free Zoom calls which are available. The managing committee can be concluded within 45 minutes. You don't have to go anywhere. So there are about the Zoom call, or maybe if you take Google Meet, there are other methodology. We can train you and you can take the help. But doing online would be an ideal thing given the present scenario. And as I said, I'm going to deal with only 3 subjects. One, as I said, online meetings, whether it is a managing committee or a general body. Second, I said, yes, there is a talk going on that cooperative societies need to be removed from the cooperative housing society, need to be removed from the cooperative subject, so that the officers can concentrate more on agriculture and other cooperative enterprises, rather than spending their time in the day-to-day working and management of a housing society, which is restricted only to the few group of people, and their internal disputes are unnecessarily taken and escalated up to the cooperative minister and chief minister, and the time is wasted. Now the third thing which is very important nowadays is about the election. You may be aware that on 30th of October 2018, 30th of October 2018, so this is about nearly 2 years or 2.5 years back, 30th October 2018, the Cooperative Act was amended, and I was fortunate enough to be a part of that committee which was formed in the year 2017 to give a recommendation that a separate chapter may be included in the cooperative law for the purpose of cooperative housing societies. And accordingly, the committee, consisting of a lot of joint registrars and all, including representation from Mahaseva, myself, we discussed and came out with the amendment to the MCS Act to include separate chapter for the cooperating society, which was by way of an ordinance, was introduced on 30th October 2018. What is this all about? In this particular ordinance, the society is having less than 200 members. At that time, it was 200 members. Election can be done by the society themselves. And about 200 members, the election will be done by Maharashtra State Cooperative Election Authority, and of course, separate chapter was introduced. Then that did not go through in the assembly. Lot of issues were raised, and then on 9th of March 2019, a further ordinance was brought in which the members for holding an election within the society was increased from 200 to 250, and penalty for not giving information, earlier it was 25,000, which was reduced to 100 rupees per day, and maximum penalty was 5,000 rupees. And this way some amendments were carried out, and from 9th March 2019 the election to less than 250 members were to be done by the societies as per the rules prescribed. Unfortunately, the rules were never, published, and therefore, elections for the societies having less than 250 members were getting postponed and postponed. The Maharashtra State Cooperative Election Authority came out with the circular that the elections to the less than 250 members are never and ever handled by us, and you have to manage yourself. So a lot of confusion. Then of course in the year 2020 we know what happened. Unfortunately the COVID started taking shape and again elections got postponed. Now draft elections rules were published in the year 2019 October, or rather September, but then final rules were never came up. And when the final rules were supposed to be done, there were a lot of suggestions made, and at the end the final rules were published on 6th April 2021. So the rules for conducting the election for less than 250 members are finally notified on 6th April 2021. Unfortunately, on the same day, one more notification came in. What is that notification? That notification says that elections to the all the cooperative societies, not only housing, all the cooperative still postponed till 31st of August 2021, which means, can the rules are published? Can we have further elections? The answer is no. Can we have co-option? According to me, yes, you can go ahead with the co-option. There should not be any issue because there is no restriction. But you cannot have the election. So this way, there are three important aspects which I thought I should bring it to your knowledge, and then we can definitely open up the session for question answer. Dharmendra, over to you. Let us have the question answer on,
Yes, sir.
more importantly, on fire safety as well as on the society's issues, whatever it is. Thank
Right,
you
sir.
very much.
Right, sir. So I'm going to read out the questions put in the chat box. Meanwhile, if anybody else also has to ask anything, they can put their questions in the chat box. There is a question here that building of a 9-story having a refuse area on 8th floor, 8th and 9th is duplex, a single flat. In case of fire on 5th or 6th floor, where the people of lower floor should move to evacuate or to refuse area. Sir.
Yeah, thank you for that question. I think it's very important. See, what happens is when you are evacuating, you have to look at the real-time situation. Okay, what happens is if the fire is at a lower floor and you can see smoke coming from below and the staircase is full of smoke, then you have to go up. Okay, so you will have to go towards the terrace. But if the fire is on a higher floor and the staircase is free, then you have to obviously go down. So there is no one answer, okay, you have to do this only. It has to be on the situation which is there. So you have to be aware of where your refuge floor is, just immediately above you or below you. Both this knowledge is very important so that you can take that decision. Okay, so it depends where you will go, will depend on the situation where the fire is. Right? I hope I've answered that.
Yes. And there is another question here that please explain the method to dose a fire caught by an LPG cylinder.
Yeah. That's a very good question. I have put a link to a video on the in the chat box. Can I share my screen?
Yes, sir.
Then I'll just play that video. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yeah. We can.
Simple. Okay, so basically, okay, so basically you are smothering. You are doing smothering by putting that can on that. You are cutting away the oxygen. The flame goes off by putting a wet gunny bag or a towel or a shawl, whatever you have. Just wrap it around the cylinder where the fire is, and the fire will go off. Okay, so it's very simple. We should not panic. Generally, LPG fires, people panic a lot, and that is what causes a lot of damage. Right? I hope I
That is true, because people are worried the moment cylinder catches the fire, they are worried it may
explode.
explode. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, 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 yes.
So does it happen, or very often, or
It
it
will
is
happen.
in
See,
1000?
yeah. It can happen if the cylinder gets heated. Okay. But generally, when there is a leakage, you have a non-return. Every cylinder has got a non-return valve, so the gas is only going out. So the flame, if there is a leakage in that valve, only the flame will be outside the cylinder. Okay. Now, if you let the flame burn for a longer time, it will heat up the surrounding, and then the cylinder gets heated, then you can have a blast. But otherwise, it will not blast. There is a jet of gas going out which is getting burnt. So if you can just douse it by using suppression, it will go off. It's very simple. In fact, I have got some people who just put a finger to the wall, very close to the wall where the gas is coming out. That is still gas before it gets ignited. So you have a 1 centimeter space after the wall, which is actually cool gas. So you can put a finger very close to the wall and shut off the gas supply totally, and the flame will go off. It's almost like magic. But I wouldn't recommend any of us to do. These are trained people who do it. But I'm telling you, this is what it is. So it's very simple. We need not panic. You just put a gunny bag or bucket that you have on top of it, and the flame will go off.
The next question is that the building has active firefighting system. How many ABC extinguisher read, and how often they are to be recharged?
Okay, that also is very relevant. Yeah. So see, fire extinguishers. The rule is that on every floor of the building, up to about 500 square meters, that is 5,000 square foot, you should have one fire extinguisher on every floor. Okay, 6 kg ABC type of a fire extinguisher should be there. Okay, on each floor. And the refilling frequency is depending on what make of fire extinguisher you have bought. So every manufacturer has got a refilling frequency. So it varies from 1 year to 3 years. The National Building Code, the NBC, says that it should be done at least once in 3 years. तो 3 साल में एक बार तो आपको रिफिल करना है. बट अगर आपने कोई लोकल मैन्युफैक्चरर से या उससे लिया हुआ है, तो ही में रिकमेंड डूइंग इट वंस इन अ ईयर. सो देन यू हैव टू फॉलो दोज रिकमेंडेशन. Once in 3 years at least, or depending on the manufacturer's recommendation, the refilling should happen.
Okay. So I have one question actually in this regard. If that data has expired, so what happens after that? If because of any damn reason that got ignored. So
what has expired, sir? Dharmendra sir?
So the refilling of the powder cylinders and all, the expiry date of that. So does this work still?
No. The thing is, it may work, but it will not be effective. The powder may still come out, but it may not be as effective because it catches moisture and other things. So the potency of the powder comes down. Okay, so it may not be able to extinguish the fire. Potency may come down. Also, the pressure which is required in the cylinder may come down. So it may not come out with the type of force that it is required. So you should not take a chance. You should get it refilled. Refilling is not very costly. I think it hardly costs a few 100 rupees or 1,000 rupees per cylinder. There are a lot of agencies. आप इसके Google पे जाइए, आपको बहुत सारी agencies मिलेंगी जो आपको refill करके देंगी. अभी रिफिलिंग करते वक्त सिर्फ एक याद रखना है कि गो टू अ रेप्यूटेड एंड अ गुड पार्टी, बिकॉज काफी फ्लाई बाय नाइट वाले जो है वो ऐसे ही वही पाउडर को वापस करके आपको डाल के थोड़ा एयर से प्रेशराइज करके दे देंगे. So that is not going to help your cause. So go to a good refilling agency and get it refilled. The powder inside a fire extinguisher, I'll just take a couple of more seconds, is known as monoammonium phosphate. MAP बोलते हैं उसको, MAP. So monoammonium phosphate होता है, उसमें IS standard बोलता है कि minimum 50% उसका concentration होना चाहिए जब भरते हैं तो. ओके, सम ऑफ देम गिव यू ऑफ 25% और बोलता है चल जाएगा, बाकी का सब कैल्शियम डाल देते हैं उसके अंदर. सो दैट इज वन थिंग दैट वी शुड नो व्हेन वी आर गेटिंग इट रिफिल्ड. एमएपी एटलीस्ट 50% concentration का होना चाहिए.
There is another question here that people generally provide safety MS grills to windows, even to multi-story buildings. What happens in case of fire?
Absolutely right. See, this is a violation. You can't have fixed grills. If you go to a fire brigade, they will tell you you are making your room into a death trap. So and I mentioned about Maimun Manzil, that Sakina ka shop elsewhere, where they had grills locked and they could not escape, even though they were died at the gate or at the windows standing there. Okay, so please make them openable. Prabhu Saab also mentioned what he did with his windows which were grilled. Please remove them immediately. Ask the other residents also to take similar steps. It may cost some money right now, but in the long run, it is necessary for your and your family's safety. See, fire systems ka I just wanted to share with you. There people look at it as a cost. Okay, इसमें इतना खर्चा होगा. But there is a study in US which says that whatever cost that is incurred, it's actually not a cost, it's an investment. And if you take a 20-year period, okay, if you take a 20-year period, it pays for itself many times over in terms of saving lives and property also. So don't look at it as a cost, it's an investment. आज आपको उसका रिटर्न दिखेगा नहीं, but you have to look at a longer term. और आप जब घर खरीदते हो वो तो आप 2-4 साल के लिए नहीं खरीदते हो. You intend to stay there, it's a long term investment. So look at it from that perspective and look at it as more as an investment which is going to give you enormous returns and save your life if it comes to that.
Sir, I would like to add a question from my side here that practically when you say, as you have mentioned, that these fixed grills are the violation, my question is to Ramesh Prabhuji that see, when we practically see most of the flats actually they have fixed grills only, including even my own flat. Can we have some provision where the MCM when they are actually submitting all these required compliances and all, they need to disclaim, give a disclaimer that they have all these fire safety measures and flexible grills and all? Is it possible to have such kind of?
It is possible. We can definitely represent to the MCGM, but I think this is more of a individual choice. Even if you make a box grill also, still that can be made openable by putting 2 or 3 locks. The removing a lock would be very easier. You may not have a collapsible grill, but you can always have a openable grill, wherein even in the box grill, you can simply remove the 2, this one, what you call lock and open up.
Yeah.
However, according to me, there is no such guideline which is issued by the MCGM. Which type of grills you need to put and what type of precaution need to be taken. Definitely, we as an Mahaseva will write to the MCGM and see if something can be done. Zuzur Madarwala can give some insight on this.
Yeah, fire brigade का ये norm है. See, if your buildings are recently in last 5 साल का अगर आपका vintage है building का, तो उसमें तो आपको NOC नहीं मिलेगा अगर आपने फिक्स ग्रिल करके लिया है तो. ओके, बिल्डिंग का NOC नहीं मिलेगा. उससे पुराना है उसका I can't say anything. But and people who put up subsequently are doing illegally because building का facade you can't change. I think that's a law. Prabhu Sahab can come in on that. So you can't change the facade of the building. So this is external. अगर आप लगाते हो तो वो तो illegal है ही.
I agree. I agree with you.
बिल्डिंग का फायर एनओसी नहीं मिलेगा अभी, अगर आप नया बिल्डिंग बनाने जाते हो. पुराना है वो हो गया है, बट आज की तारीख में इट इज फ्रॉम द सेफ्टी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू पर से इट शुड नॉट बी देयर.
Anand Gupta has raised the hand.
I can see that past President Anand Gupta has raised the hand. So Anandji, ask your questions.
Sir, in continuation of this point, which is now this is going on, see what I have observed: 50% of the building in whole of the Maharashtra, not only Mumbai, particularly all ground plus 4, ground plus 7 building, 50% of the people are deliberately either builder himself, or if builder has not done it, the member himself has put the grill.
Correct.
50% of the building are having this lockable door at the ground floor, so that they need not provide any security man.
Correct.
And most of the people, whatever the place they have kept reserved for the movement of vehicles, there is a parking of the vehicles. So when actual, so what is the legal provision? Because ultimately, unless the people are punished, few of them out of say 1 out of 1,000, unless he is punished, if you provide a grill, if you are providing a lockable door at the ground floor, if you put a lockable door at the terrace, because ultimately when the fire will take, nobody knows. So what is the legal provision for that? And who is personally responsible to be made liable legally?
Yeah, okay. A very good question. This is something that we all are struggling with, really speaking. There are so many violations, Gupta ji, that, the fire brigade is short of manpower. वो firefighting करे या ये सब करने जाए. So they have made an inspection cell. There is every fire station has got an inspection cell these days. So if you write into them with these violations, they will send you a notice and they will take action. So अपने को भी थोड़ा proactive होना पड़ेगा. I think this awareness initiative that Rotary Club has taken is a step in the right direction, wherein now once we know what is right, what is wrong, I think we all will have to take a little bit of initiative and call these things out. Okay, and then change will happen, but we'll also have to be part of the change. If we keep, only fire department is pretty short staffed. Okay, for entire Mumbai, I think they've got some 500 officers and some 2,500 firemen.
सर वो 500 एजेंसी किसने लगाया फिर अपन ने?
हाँ सर,
500 एजेंसीज लगाया ना फायर डिपार्टमेंट ने?
हाँ, एजेंसीज लगाया है सर. एजेंसीज को अपॉइंट किया है. उनका मैंडेट क्या है कि अगर सोसाइटी बोलेगी तो वो लोग आके करेंगे. They don't have authority to, they are not statutory authorities that they can barge into a society and tell them that तुम ये करो. तो उसके लिए society has to appoint. तो managing committee है, जो भी है वो उनको appoint करो, वो आके आपको देंगे, and based on those reports you can take action. I think
Not compulsory. It is not compulsory. It has been kept optional up till now. Right now, it is not that they can legally enforce it.
The licensed agencies cannot enforce it. Licensed agencies can only give recommendations. See, they are private parties. Okay, so they have not been given any enforcement rights. The enforcement rights are with the fire department. But once their report comes in, it will go to the fire department also, and that will ensure that some action is taken.
There is another question here that does the external MGL pipeline running outside kitchens have to always remain open and accessible for MGL or fire department, or can they be hidden behind concrete structure, as some members are of the view that they are walls inside flats to shut the line in case of the leakage, and external walls outside can be closed by the MGL. So is it mandatory to have it uncovered and open as a member have made external to their kitchens and have covered the gas pipelines?
They have to be uncovered always. The entire MGL line, gas line has to be exposed. Okay, if you are means covering it up or concealing it, tomorrow if there is a leakage or anything in that concealed portion, it will be very difficult to detect, and it could be the difference between life and death. So I think it is a mandatory requirement by MGL also that no line can be touched by the residents or anybody else except for their own authorized person. So I think this needs to get reported to MGL, and they will, I'm sure, take appropriate action, cut off the gas, and ask the member to ensure if there are any modifications, those are made good.
Yeah, the next question is to C. Ramesh Prabhuji about please advise status in case election are due in November 2021. Society has less than 250 members.
If it is 2021, then after August, you can appoint. See, 60 days prior to the expiry of the election date, you have to appoint an election officer. That election officer can be any member of the society who is not interested in contesting the election, and he should not be the existing committee member. And then he has to take he has to undergo a training. Mahaseva, Maharashtra Society Welfare Association, also grants that training, or from the Housing Federation. And once the training is completed, he can take the provisional voter list from the society, publish the final list of voters for the suggestion objection, and then of course he can create a election program of 30 days, wherein he will invite the candidates, then scrutiny of the nomination happens, rejection of nomination happens, final candidates list, then the voting, and then declaring the results. All this election program will be done by him. So now my simple question is, you appoint an election officer. Even today you can appoint an election officer, but it is better to appoint 60 days prior to this. So if it is November is the date, you can somewhere October or say September, even August 2021, you can appoint an election officer. Then thereafter he can start the election process. Yeah.
The next question is related to some first aid in the burn cases. Like one incident has been mentioned here by Chintan, that in recent fire next to my building, one aged person was burnt, so washed it with water and suggested them to apply silver X ointment. And somebody has asked about the first aid. What are the first aid tips I would like to give in such cases?
Yeah, Jujar, Madarwala, you can give some.
Yeah. See, okay. First aid may, see, there are two types of fire. May you get two types of injuries. One is burn injuries. The other is asphyxiation. So your lungs get, you breathe in a lot of smoke. Okay. So lung का अगर congestion है तो उसके लिए तो आपको ऑक्सीजन और वो दे के हॉस्पिटल में जाके उसको आपको decongest करना पड़ेगा lungs का, if you are having breathing difficulties. In case of burns, yes, cold water is known to be the best remedy for any sort of burns. Pour cold water for at least 5 minutes on the burn. Don't be afraid that it will become boils और वो सब हो जाएगा. That boils होना वो अच्छी चीज है, होने दो उसको. That tells you that the healing mechanism of the skin is coming into effect and the skin is not completely burnt off. Okay, और अगर उससे ज़्यादा है, 3rd degree का burns है, तो then you will have to wrap the person or the burnt portion in a clean cloth of plastic and take him to the hospital. I think as soon as possible. That is what needs to be done.
Sir, as you have mentioned about this terrace doors, which should not be locked. So there is another question: whether is it illegal to have a terrace door locked in the high-rise buildings?
Yes, I mean illegal. Definitely, because see, all terraces are refuge areas. Okay, they are by default they are termed as refuge area as per the Maharashtra Fire Act and as the National Building Code. Okay, so a refuge area needs to be accessible. Now, when we say they should not be locked, is a lot of societies have apprehensions कि अगर हम खुला रखेंगे तो वो misuse होता है, there are miscreants coming up, and there is a nuisance created. So the remedy to that is, what you do is you lock it, but उसका जो चाबी है वो आप एक glass box में उसके बाजू में ही रखिए. Okay, and maybe put a camera. तो अगर कोई तोड़ता है उसको तो आप उसको पकड़ सकते हो. Okay, and keep a glass box. So in case of an emergency, anybody can break the glass and access the refuge areas and the terrace floors.
I can see one raised hand. Halton can ask your question.
Sir, this is to Mr. Madarwala.
Yeah.
It's a typical scenario where the corridors are usually occupied by heavy shoe boxes and lower.
Absolutely.
And it's a 4 feet wide corridor only, and the shoe boxes definitely takes about 400 mm, 1.5 foot. So where does it get? Definitely, it's obstructing the escape route. But how do we impress upon the people that this is really dangerous, and how do we then execute it if they don't listen to us?
See, there is a national building code. If you want a clause, okay, I mean, आपको उसको
Yeah.
clause देना है, तो there is a national building code in which this clause is there that all the common spaces are supposed to be kept litter free or should not have anything obstructing that. And even if your building is in the last 8-10 साल का है, तो आपका जो फायर का NOC होगा बिल्डिंग का, वो आप देख लीजिए, उसमें भी वो लिखा होगा, वो क्लॉज होगा कि the common areas are supposed to be kept free from all obstructions. So I think you can look at both of them and tell your residents. But even otherwise, today it is common sense. I don't think you need to go to that length. I think as managing committee, it becomes your responsibility to ensure that these are kept open. And उतना तो अभी लोगों को समझ में आ ही गया है, looking at all the recent fires that have happened. But if you want some you can find it here.
Jujhar Madarwal,
Yes,
there are some societies who are making a policy decision.
Yeah.
That is, a general body passes a resolution,
Yeah.
and thereafter they levy a penalty, nominal penalty, maybe 500 or 1,000 rupees, just to indicate, and so that that is also put in the WhatsApp and notice board that so and so person has been levied a penalty of 100 or 200 for this type of things.
violation.
And then if that is not removed within a month's time or 15 days time, then the penalty will be increased to 200 rupees. So this way, then it will be on day-to-day basis. Within 3 months, if it is not removed, then our bylaw provides that one can charge 5 times of the maintenance as a penalty for an encroachment. This is nothing but an encroachment. If you look at bylaw number 169A, this has been provided because the specific question was how it can be implemented. This can be implemented only through sometimes levying a huge penalty. And I'm not suggesting any time that one should be putting a huge penalty, but start with the nominal penalty of 50 rupees or 100 rupees or maybe 200 rupees, just to give him a signal. The third thing which we have exercised in our building when I was a secretary, and we gave a notice to the people who had kept out, and it was published. And we also said that within next 8 days, if that cycle, your the wastages, whatever is kept in the corridor, including the shoe rack, the managing committee will remove it. And we did remove, and we also said that the cost will be billed, whatever is the removal expenses, and we will not be held responsible for the damages of their belongings, whatever is kept outside. Like sometimes people keep a cycle of the children, small children cycle, they keep some unusable cupboards, this, that, all that we have removed and we have billed in their bill. No doubt the dispute do happen, but the one has to be very aggressive. The chairman secretary need to be aggressive, because once you are on the post, you cannot be simply taking it for the benefit of the members.
Absolutely. Tough decisions are required, और अभी तो boss ने बोल दिया है, तो आप कर लो अभी.
Anand, you would like to ask some question? I see your raised hand.
Yes, Anand ji.
नहीं सर, मैं क्या बोलता, आपका जब भी प्रेजेंटेशन चल रहा था तो आपने बताया कि एक्ट सेज कि either the owner of the property or the occupant of the property has to maintain this fire system.
Correct.
But when you gave a presentation of Parel building and Ghatkopar building, you said the builder was arrested.
Correct.
The buildings were occupied.
Correct. buildings
And
were occupied.
why did the builder, and particularly as I myself is in this development business, I see most of the fire which has taken place, those all buildings were having a all required fire system. But at the time of fire, they were not either functioning, or the people who were using it or the people who were occupying it, they were not knowing how to operate it. So why did the builder got arrested? Why not the
Yeah.
occupant and the owner of the flat owners?
Very good question, Gupta ji. Very good question. I think you nailed it. See, the reason why the builders were arrested in both the cases were because वो दोनों building का OC नहीं लाके दिया था उसने तभी तक. There
But
was
that's
no
technical fault.
हाँ
Owner and occupant has OC नहीं आया, ऐसा तो बॉम्बे का 50% बिल्डिंग को OC नहीं आया, तो इसका
Exactly.
मतलब 25 साल के बाद भी उसको
तो
पकड़ने के वो लोग.
हाँ तो पकड़ेंगे ही, पकड़ा ही है, उनको ही पकड़ा है. These are the live cases that I have shared with you. So if there is no OC which is given by the builder, OC अगर उसने लाके दिया है तो फिर वो society को पकड़ा है. There are a lot of other cases where the society has been hauled up. Okay, Mime and other places where there was an OC, and in spite of that the systems were not functional, then the society has been penalized. But where there is no OC, getting an OC is the builder's responsibility, okay, or the developer's responsibility. So in both these cases, the OCs were not in place. That is why the builder and developer were, action was taken against them. If that would have been in place, and even then the systems were not functional or operational, then the society would have been hauled up.
Mr. Jujar, actually, being actually served the pharma industry for 20 years, I have seen so many hospitals, like recently we have seen during this pandemic ICU fire cases, and so many, it took a toll, so many lives, including the recent one. So there are at third floor, fourth floor, fifth floor of small buildings, these ICUs or the hospitals are there. So how they are actually, whether they are all fire clearance they have, or how it is happening, is if you can throw some light on that.
Yeah, see, देखो ये सब जो किया हुआ है, these are all legacy cases. तभी सब you know how things work, थोड़ा hand in glove भी होता है. तो वैसे करके अभी तक तो सब चलता है, एटीट्यूड था, really speaking. Okay, now that awareness is coming through last few years, that has really got ingrained with all these Kamla mills and other fires, and the importance of fire systems is coming into focus. So things are changing, but yes, जो पुराना सब चल रहा है वो अभी तक चल रहा है. But the fire brigade, like I said, has made an inspection cell recently. I think 2017 or so. There is an inspection cell which has got made, and now they are going around inspecting the buildings and all that. I think recently you would have seen some newspaper articles also wherein they have said almost, I think 40-50% of the hospitals are non-compliant. So they have told them to make themselves compliant. But abhi isme kya hota hai ki you can't shut down a running facility just like that. So they have been given time. They generally 120 days ka time dete hain fire brigade. When they notice any non-compliance, they give a 120-day notice first. Say that within 120 days, get all these things in order. Okay, वो लोग 120 days में भी नहीं करते हैं तो दूसरा फिर उनको 90 days का नोटिस जाता है. तो ऐसा 7-8 महीने तो वो नोटिस देने के बाद भी लोग लगा ही देते हैं. तो it's a slow process, but as the awareness comes in and the patient and their family start asking all these questions, I think that is what is going to hasten up the whole process. So everybody, all of us knowing about these laws and these requirements and being aware is going to be a big step towards making it fire safe.
So there is a question here that we see somebody in the housing society is keeping inflammable products in the society or in the property. What action can be taken by the MCM?
Inflammable, see, residential buildings में तो allowed नहीं है. It cannot be used as a store. और basement में तो inflammable रख ही नहीं सकते हैं. That is also a fire norm. So you can complain to the nearest either fire department, fire station, and they will come and take action against that. So वो तो unlawful ही है. आपको fire department को बोलना पड़ेगा, nearest fire station को.
And one question states here that some people in the renovation, they actually conceal this sprinkle system and all.
Oh my
So up to what extent it can be done, or how it can...
I mean, nobody can touch the fire system, fire lines, except for an authorized person or a licensed agency. Okay, very clear. किसी को वो right नहीं है. अगर किसी ने उसको modify किया है, तो he can be hauled up. I think you need to complain to the fire department or nearest fire station, and they will take action against that. जितने भी लाल लाइन्स है आपके बिल्डिंग में, उसको किसी को भी टच करने की अनुमति नहीं रहती है, unless it's an authorized person recognized by the fire office.
Okay, there is one question for Ramesh Prabhuji about that video recording of the AGM. If somebody asks for the video recording, can it be provided, and within what duration?
They ask, yes, it has to be given within 30 days.
We can't hear you, sir.
Yeah. The digital recording is again a recording of the minutes. So therefore it has to be given. And that should be given within 30 days from the date of making an application. Otherwise they can report to the registrar, and the registrar can levy a penalty of 100 rupees per day of the delay, and the penalty can go up to 5,000 rupees.
Whether this digital copy would be chargeable?
That is up to the society to decide, but normally if it is charged also, that it cannot be more than 100 rupees, because if it is a CD and if it is a pen drive, I think the cost of the pen drive can be collected. So that is up to the society to decide what is the amount to be charged.
Okay. There is a question that in a society, fire system is managed by one vendor, and the form is certified by another vendor, since he is not registered with the NMMC fire department. So is it valid?
See, the B form has to be from a certified licensed agency. Okay. Now, there is nothing which says that only one agency has to do everything. The B form certification has to be from a licensed agency. So as long as that is a licensed agency, that's fine. But here what is happening is the society is unnecessarily paying more. I don't know why they would have two agencies to do this, because then you always give each other a little bit of elbow room to shirk the responsibility. So when you have a single agency who's doing both, you can catch hold of him if anything goes wrong. अगर आप दो जन हैं तो आप किसको पकड़ोगे? वो बोलेगा इसने किया, ये बोलेगा उसने नहीं किया, and the society will be left to clear all that rubbish. So ideally it should be one, but there is no law which says एक ही जन होना चाहिए. आपके पास पैसा है, आप करो, उसमें कोई issue नहीं है, and you have a lot of time to coordinate. Please do it.
So there is a question about on the terrace area where there's cable wire and the internet wires actually haphazardly placed. So how is there any enforcing law for that for the society?
See, ultimately one has to undertake electric audit as well as fire audit. In those keeping cable everything open is definitely you are inviting the trouble. So one has to be very careful. It should not be easy accessible to the people at large. If somebody is taking the furniture, fixtures, it should not harm anybody. So it has to be kept as neat and clean as possible. not for only for the purpose of beauty and other things, even to avoid any short circuits, even the loss to the life. If there is a fire wire, if electric wire is hanging, and if somebody is caught there, so his life may be in danger. So one has to be very careful. One has to take the necessary precaution, and implementation is done through the managing committee. If something goes wrong, managing committee need to be given a warning that they will be held personally liable for any untoward incident to the members of the society or their family. So one has to be careful. Yeah.
Yeah, so there is one question about that, how the fire drill should be conducted in the society. Is there any procedure involved?
Yeah, a very good question. See, generally mock drills ke liye, the procedure is that there has to be some amount of planning which needs to happen. Everybody, all the residents need to be informed at least a week or so in advance that this is the day and time when the mock drill will happen, because you will switch on, how the mock drill starts is you switch on the fire alarm. So there will be a fire alarm going off in the entire building. So we don't want people to panic. Okay, so you have to communicate the date and time when the fire mock drill is going to happen, so people are prepared. And once you put that on, the necessary signages and all that should be in place so that people know where to go. The security team has to be trained before that, so that they can guide people who are who don't know, or elderly people. They can assist in going to the assembly area. So where the assembly area is, that needs to be communicated. So so all these things, there is a standard SOP which is followed. Most of the licensed agencies have that, so they will share that with you when you want to do the mock drills. And it's very simple, but yes, that information has to be there. There is a process which needs to be followed, especially for the elderly, for the differently abled. How do you bring them to the assembly point? So that also gives the security and other team members, the family members, practice in taking care of these situations.
I can see two raised hands. Let's take this question because we are overrunning time now. So Vinay and Latun. Vinay, you can ask your question first. Vinay Bhatkar. Are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Sir, मैं water tank cleaning के business में हूँ.
Okay.
इतने साल से मैं देख रहा हूँ फायर टैंक्स का जो सिस्टम है. फायर टैंक्स अपना 60% मेरे ख्याल से, maybe I am wrong, but 60% आपका स्टोरेज होना चाहिए. उसके बाद में आपके डोमेस्टिक और फ्लश, ये तीनों टैंक्स अभी नॉर्मली न्यूली जितने भी कंस्ट्रक्शन होते हैं बिल्डिंग के, तो उसमें ये सारी चीजें इन लाइन में होती है. तो बीएमसी का जो पानी आता है, तो फर्स्ट ऑफ आपकी फायर टैंक में पहले पोर किया जाता है, उसके बाद में फिर डोमेस्टिक और फ्लश का तो टोटली डिफरेंट सिचुएशन होता है. अभी क्लीनिंग के टाइम में बेसिकली मैंने ऐसे सुना हुआ है क्या फायर अथॉरिटी का परमिशन लेना जरूरी होता है, बिकॉज ऑफ क्योंकि पहले पानी आपका फायर में आता है. कभी कंटेमिनेटेड पानी आता है तो पहले फायर का टैंक अपना फुल हो जाता है, लेकिन वो एम्प्टी करने के टाइम में आपका डोमेस्टिक लाइन भी आपका अफेक्ट होता है. तो थोड़ा सा कहीं पे हमारे नॉर्म्स में ऐसा कोई चेंजेस नहीं हो सकता क्या? फायर का टोटली पानी जो है एक स्टोरेज टैंक अलग ही हो जाए, ताकि डोमेस्टिक का जो वो मतलब बोलने का मतलब ऐसा है कि फायर का टैंक जो है वो 100% फुल रहेगा, और डोमेस्टिक का टैंक है वो ईच एंड एवरी टाइम अपना न्यूली वाटर के साथ में अपना फुलफिल होते रहेगा, और क्लीनिंग के टाइम में भी कोई इश्यूज नहीं क्रिएट हो गए.
Okay, Bhatkarji, thank you for that question. See, how the system is that the municipal water will come into the fire tank, okay, and fire tank एक बार full हुआ तो उसका overflow जो है वो जाएगा आपके domestic tank में, ठीक है. So the fire tank is supposed to be always full. Okay, and you will draw water for your domestic requirement only from the domestic tank, not from the fire tank. Fire tank outlet will be to the fire pumps only. So now you have a situation where your fire tank is supposed to be always full. Okay, and only uska jo overflow is going into your domestic tank. So generally तो लोग जो clean करते हैं वो domestic tank ही clean करते हैं. Okay, actually the fire tank becomes almost like a settling chamber sort of a thing. So आपका जो भी थोड़ा बहुत कचरा है वो उधर settle हो जाता है और आपके domestic tank में clean पानी ही जाता है if you are taking it from an overflow. Because I know of a lot of societies जो उसको नीचे से कनेक्ट कर लेते हैं और वो पूरा दोनों लेवल होके दोनों टाकी का पानी यूज होता है. तो ऐसा अगर नहीं हो रहा है तो आपको क्लीनिंग में fire tank need not be cleaned very frequently because it's a static water which is there और उसका ऊपर का ही जो पानी है वो आपका domestic tank में जाता है. तो I don't foresee much of an issue on that.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So this is the last question which we are taking of Latun.
This is to Mr. Prabhu. In our society, there are quite a few flats which have been merged, and they don't have a formal permission as such. We have a guideline, we have a rules and guidelines, but it's like it's people's choice to follow or not follow, and there's no penalty at the moment attached to people defaulting on the guidelines. So how do we impress upon them? How do we use the law to impress upon them? They have even abused our secretary. How do we impress upon them?
See, ultimately, it's a civil society.
Ji.
Everybody has to understand what is happening, what is not happening. And some code of conduct, certain things need to be done. And then if those people are again and again flouting the rules, maybe, as I said, with the levying small penalty, or maybe bringing it again and again in the minutes, in the notices, they should be, socially boycotted, and then they should be made realize that because of them, people are getting disturbed. Without that, I don't think anything else can be done. And of course, somebody who has removed the wall, they have merged the flat, and it is completely illegal, you need to inform to the MCGM. They will come, do the inspection, they will take the necessary action. So this is what I can say. Jujarji, one question to you in the chat box, which I thought, let me ask you. Form B, that is a fire audit, is done once in 6 months.
Yes.
I hope you are also one of the licensed person to carry out the audit.
Yes, sir. We do that. I am one of the authorized agencies to conduct the audit and AMC. Yeah.
Okay. The second question is how much fees normally is charged? This is not my question. This is in the chat box. No, you don't say that why Mr. Prabhu is so keen in your fees.
नहीं सर देखिए ये जो चार्जेस है डिपेंड ऑन द साइज ऑफ द बिल्डिंग, द लोकेशन, द साइज ऑफ द फ्लैट्स विद इन द बिल्डिंग, कितना माले का है, कितना फ्लैट्स है, टोटल बिल्टअप एरिया कितना है, क्या टाइप का इक्विपमेंट्स लगा हुआ है, कितना पुराना है बिल्डिंग. So there are a lot of factors which goes into it. So I can't give you a ballpark right now, but I can tell you one thing, that it is less than a cup of tea if you take every day. दिन का आपका एक चाय का प्याली से तो कम ही आएगा सर. तो वो आप चिंता मत करो कि बहुत कॉस्टली होने वाला है.
तो फिर हमको चाय का पिया बंद करना पड़ेगा. Anyhow, sir, last question.
World Monk चालू कर दो सर.
Yeah, last question for the benefit of the people. Suppose mock drill has to be done, and some thing need to be done, whether through Mahaseva or yourself, whether you charge nominal fees and do the mock drilling, or it will be free of charge, how it can be done?
Okay, this is a novel suggestion, Prabhu Saab. I would be keen, agar Mahaseva is taking the lead, I would be very happy to do these mock drills. We can try out free mein karte hain. At least let's start. I think that is very critical for the awareness. So agar Mahaseva can pitch in, let's do it. We'll do a few free of cost, and then see how we can take care of the costs.
Sure.
Everything I may not be able to do on my own, but I'm sure some of the initial 5-6 तो कर ही सकते हैं.
Sure. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
So-
you, Dharmendra Saab, Hiralal ji. Thank you very much for having me and an excellent question and answer session. I think it was very lively. And best of luck to Rotary Mumbai West.
So now I would like to invite Hiralal ji to give a formal vote of thanks.
Friends, it is my pleasure to extend well-deserved vote of thanks to the speakers of the day. Friends, today is the 35th month of launching of the Layman's Education Seminar Series. And the next month, on 6th June, we will be completing 36 months, that is 3 years. During the long period of 3 years, many persons have taken benefit of these projects on varied subjects. We have invited speakers, especially in the respective fields and the industry. For today's esteemed speaker, Jujar has enlightened us on extremely important aspects on the topic, and his presentation was very informative, very precise, and easy to understand, and has also answered all the queries. I, on behalf of myself, on behalf of my club, Rotary Club of Bombay West, as well as Sri Ramesh Prabhu of MSWA, extend hearty thanks to him. Friends, uncontrolled fire will bring devastation, and controlled one can bring premium for the happy life. Fire to acquire knowledge, which we call quest for knowledge, can help achieve desired goal, and we have experienced during these 3 years the burning desire of the participants who are immensely benefited. This has brought great satisfaction to the organization, myself, my club, and MSWA. Ramesh Prabhu has brought to our notice the latest legal position on elections and meeting and other issues of concern to the cooperative housing societies. Thank you, Ramesh bhai. You are always up to date and helpful to the societies. You are right to call housing group. And next event on 6th June may be the last one in the education series, and I would like to devote the same for question and answer session. Please feel free to write questions to MSWA or to me on my email, which you will get it in the chat box. My mobile number also is there. Friends, the seminar series is gift to the society from my club, Rotary Club of Bombay West. Once again, I thank you, all of you who has contributed to the event and also to the participants. Thank you, friends. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Everyone, and I am ending the meeting now.
Thank you.